and also join hands with the other colleagues in supporting this bill. This bill has a big win for Kenyans. Generally, it seeks additional revenue that is necessary to alleviate poverty and to deliver public services like roads, electricity, on health. These are all services to improve on and better lives of people, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to increase the disposable incomes for millions of Kenyans that are employed. And I want to say this, Mr. Speaker. This bill, the deductions of NHIF on housing levy are done on gross salaries, and note the pay is done after the deductions on NHIF and also the deductions on house levy. For example, your Honorable Speaker, I've done calculations. Any salaried Kenyan earning 50,000 shillings. Right now, his net pay is around 49,000 shillings. But with this new finance bill, Mr. Speaker, the same Kenyan who is earning a gross salary of 50,000 shillings is going home with around 42,000 shillings. So there is an additional almost 3,000 shillings, Mr. Speaker. And this is for all the salaried employees in Kenya. So I want to be in agreement with the chair and the team who came up with this proposal of the finance bill, that this finance bill is putting more money in the pockets of employed Kenyans. That is about 13 million Kenyans who are employed, both in government and the private sector, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want in the common principles of commerce, high school commerce, and I want to mention this for Honorable Babu Owino and Salasya and Honorable Junet, because they think alike and opposing this bill. It dictates that you have to put tax levies on importation so that we can give room to the local industries to spur in those economic growth.
Yes, Honorable Salasya, what's the problem?
Yes, sir.
Take your seat. Give Salasya the mic. There you are, give him the mic.
Okay, I'm here, right? I've never stood on the point of order, but let me try to speak on point of order. That one is point of order number 91. Okay. I'm so much disappointed with Honorable El-Mengid by saying that
Salasya,
Yes.
Standing Order 31 deals with adjournment of the House.
91, yes.
So it can't be the one on which you are standing.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on point of order.
Yes.
Order number 91, yes. I'm getting used to these things, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes.
So I'm so much surprised that out of all these members of parliament, that Engineer El-Mengid is mentioning my name and asking me that I'm opposing the bill without even me listening to me giving facts the way I want to give my facts in the next 5 minutes to come. Immediately the speaker is going to mention my name. Thank you, Mr.
Okay. El-Mengid, to be fair to Salasya, he has not spoken on this bill yet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I was waking up Salasya. I saw him, he was asleep. Okay. And again, Mr. Speaker, I've seen several members opposing this bill, and particularly on the assembled motorcycles that are imported. Those are the motorcycles that 3% of the levies have been put on the imported motorcycles. But the locally assembled and locally manufactured, there's no tax levies on those motorcycles. This will spur the economic growth and also enable these companies, will give room these companies to employ more youth in assembling these motorcycles within this country. Again, Mr. Speaker, I would love to buy diapers for my babies from the locally produced ones in Kenya. There is no problem for Honorable Junet creating a company like Junet Diapers Company Limited. I would be happy to buy those diapers from his factory. So I want to encourage every member who is opposing this bill I want to urge all members opposing this bill to to also join hands with us so that we can accept the amendments and the proposed bill that we have for 2024-2025 financial year. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the only problem that we are fighting in this country and in this finance bill is the negative connotations and statements propagated by the opposition. Numbers don't lie. For the last 1 year, Mr. Speaker, on the economy, inflation has dropped from 9% to around 5%. The dollar, Mr. Speaker, in relation to Kenyan shilling, has dropped from 165 shilling to 130, up thereabout. Farmers are happy, Mr. Speaker, for the subsidized fertilizer. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the teachers who are interns for the last 1.5 years will get a chance to be employed permanent and pensionable, which is a big win for our institutions back home, the high schools, the day schools that don't have teachers. So, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, what's your point of order? There's nobody on the floor. Umulher? Give her the mic. What's the point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to interject him, but he's not on the floor.
He's not on the floor, so it is spent. Thank you.
Okay.
I give the floor to Elachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to oppose this Finance Act of 2024 with reasons, Mr. Speaker. And I'll start, Mr. Speaker. When government came into place, Mr. Speaker, we started by removing subsidies and saying that this will assist Kenyans now to move on as a country. Mr. Speaker, we came in, we decided to ensure that the first finance bill, we had so many issues. We thought this second finance bill, Mr. Speaker, will be a finance bill that brings Kenyans together. And today, what the government has done to us, the Economic Council decided to put Kenya again into crossroads to make us fight for nothing. And then after that, then you come and now start saying we shall be having amendments. Yet this is something we would have just thought from the beginning, Mr. Speaker, that we don't need a country to go on to a cry and then now come again and tell them that there's an incentive that now we are giving. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the report comes in, and this is an IMF finance bill. This is what they did to Ghana. Mr. Speaker, you remember very well when Kibaki came into government, he was a finance minister, but he decided to be a liberal economist. He decided to look east. It is so sad that while my president thinks he will build any road in this country, that he will do any infrastructure in this country with IMF on his neck, this will not happen on this term. Not on this term. He will be there to do the deficits of what they are telling him, but in terms of building Kenya, we shall see the worst that we have never seen. Mr. Speaker, the bill then comes in and tells us you want to restore policy on debt, sustainability, whatever. But then you forget that you are the same person who is saying you need everything on items. Fine, you have said you have reduced it for Mama Mboga, I don't know for who. But you are forgetting the same person who can do business beyond 2 million is the same person you have just returned into the challenges we are saying. Try to build an economic base for Kenyans to have this thing we are calling that there is economic growth. Then you come and tell me you have now reduced to the local manufacturers. Who are the deaf kids and the who's and who's? One person monopolizing this country, that he's the only one who can bring clinker, he's the only one who can do cement, he's the only one, yet you want to say, today we cannot bring back Portland, today we cannot do this. It is wrong. We only have one man who does pasta in this country. So when you say now you are increasing because people are exporting in spaghettis, they're importing in spaghettis, we only have one local manufacturer who does pasta, who decides at every given time how he raises his prices. So how do you deal with those people? Tell us the numbers of manufacturers we have,
Order.
so that Kenyans can know,
Order,
Mr. Speaker.
Elachi. Yes, Nyakundi, what's your point of order? Give him the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm standing on point of order number 91. Is it in order for the honorable member to say that the president is dictated by IMF on